Welcome back, everybody. My name is Gregtech, and this is Gregtech New Horizons. In today's video, I am trying to break into the Tier 2, the LVEU age, getting in some of these projects. I go a little out of order from what some people may do, or what may or may not seem obvious. There was a guide that was put out, and because of the guide, I have changed up the order I build my machines in. So I typically start off with a basic bending machine. Now, it does take 2 of those pistons plus 2 of the motors, which means 4 motors total, in addition to lots of plates, some steel rods, tin cables, so on and so forth. But the reason I go about it making this one first is because the steel that you save when you have to make these LV machine casings, and you have to just use up a ton of your steel for each of these casings, I feel it's important to use the first bit of steel that you can for making the bending machine so that you can make the rest of those plates more easily. And then the second one after that is definitely the basic wire mill, requiring, 4 more of those motors, another LV machine hull, which is another LV machine casing. So again, trying to get the most out of what steel we have to use when making plates, and then this thing will help us make the wires, which helps us make the motors and the circuits and those kind of things, and just trying to, as quickly as possible, decrease the amount of resources we're going to need to use. So I'm going to get started on making a bunch of that stuff, and I'll see you back here in a bit. Alright, I'm back again. I finally have all the pieces that I need. Part of the piece setup is to get, you're going to hate this, number 3, which is to craft 1 piston. And that does happen to unlock the basic bending machine right behind it, because the basic bending machine requires 2 of those pistons. So that'll be good. That'll just immediately unlock that. I have my first steam engine right there. I'm going to be putting 2 more above it and then setting up a wall of machines here. There's about 15 of them total if I follow this guide exactly. Well, 14 plus a skystone chest that stuff can output to. So that will be good. So here we go. I'm going to need to make my LV machine casing. And then with that, I need to make it into an LV machine hull. There we go. With the LV machine hull, I can put in the 2 pistons. Over here, I have 2 electric motors that I've built. There we go. I have 2 of the electronic circuits, 1 more tin cable, and then I believe that's a wrench up at the top. So we just grab the wrench, stick it in, and there is our initial basic bending machine. Now, before I can do too much with that, I do need to make a set of wires in order to utilize the power. I mean, I guess I can do this for the time being, just until I get the wire bending machine. The steam engine can pump straight into there, and then I can do that. First, I need to make another circuit, and then once I've made that other circuit, I can, basically start putting stuff directly in here and bending out plates, as well as putting the plates back through to create the foil that you use with the wire cutters to make the fine wires. And then once I have the wire mill finally done, I can just stick ingots straight into that, making the wires, and then stick them in straight again, and then sticking wires in and making those fine wires. So that's what I'll be focusing on next, and I'll see you when I'm ready to build that one. Alright, here we go. Half of those there, other 4 there, bam, 4 motors. So with those 4 motors, now what I can do is work on my LV frame, which is there, 2 wrought iron, 1 steel plate, grab those 2, we go. Two wires. There's my LV machine casing. Two of those. Four of those. And then the last two things are the two chips. I need to make the two chipsets now. And here we go. Two of those, two of those. I guess I need to flip-flop those. There we go. Two circuits. And there is my basic wire mill with a darn you wire cutter for the quest text. All right, if I pop back out, we now have the wire mill done. Gets us a loot bag and a couple of coins. The bending machine, another loot bag, and another few coins. Put my loot bags away, drop my coins away. There we go. And then for this one, we get some banana splits and some more coins. There we go. Okay, so there we got done with the wire cutter and the bending machine, as well as getting a little bit more stuff set up. That took me a little while, but I was finally able to get the basic fluid solidifier and basic chemical reactor done. Those two being the next two to be made simplifies or cheapens the cost of all of the rubber that you need to produce. I'm going to put the solidifier down below and put the chemical reactor just above it. And I did not grab my wire cutters. Grab those real quick. And I want to shift right click, get that one connected. Then I can come up here, connect that one. Then I can shift right click, get that connected, and then put my basic wire mill here, and then shift right click that upper corner in order to connect it to the back. So there we go. I have a fluid solidifier, a basic chemical reactor, the wire mill, and the bending machine. The other thing I need to do is set the output of the chemical reactor below to this one, and then go into the UI and mark it for fluid auto output. There, now I can auto output into this one, and I'm going to run around and grab my plate mold and stick my plate mold in here. And that way, it'll pass the rubber down here. The rubber will be solidified into sheets at a cost of 1-for-1 now on ingots instead of 2-for-1 using the alloy smelter back there. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. These, unfortunately, there's no quest open for them yet. There's another quest, I forget which one it is that has to be done, but it won't take long, and then they'll show up, and I'll just be able to pick them up, and they'll be ready to, or they'll get me the quest rewards, since all of these guys are retrieval tasks just with the completed machine. So once I can do that, that'll work. But otherwise, in the next video, the thing I'm going to focus on first is going to be this guy right down here, the lathe. I want to get the lathe up and running so that I can start making the rods more cheaply. In particular, the steel rods that are used to make the vacuum tubes are extremely expensive when you're talking 1-for-1, and with the lathe you can make one and you'll get half of the ingot back. Unfortunately, steel can only be processed back here in the blast furnaces, but at least then it's only costing me half an ingot per rod instead of a full ingot. From there, taking a look at making 2 more steam turbines, getting this brought all the way up here, and then start taking a look at making some of the other machines like the polarizer, and then some of those original 6 machines that we have back there. So look forward to seeing you in the next video.